Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly share of the Zera Shimshon, and it is Yud Aleph Kislev and Tavshin Pei Hai, excuse me, Tavshin Pei Hey, and it's going to be Parshas Vayishlach. Now, the interesting thing about this date tomorrow is Yud Beis. Kislev is the yahrzeit Beis Hashem for the Bat Ayin. Now, if those don't know who the Bat Ayin was, you'll have to look it up. But I'll tell you a short story about Avram Dov Ber Avrich, and he's buried in Svat. And he actually saved part of this town from a disastrous earthquake when he was living there. That's a whole story, but I won't go into it. But Kitzer, there's a whole big a seafood tonight with Rabbi Biederman. It's probably going to be, who knows how many, 5, 10, maybe tens of thousands of people there tonight. Anyway, I can't go. Anyway, I'm going to talk about keeping Shabbos. He was very makbid. He has a very special sefer called the Bat Ayin that he wrote on the Parshas of Shabbos. And they're short pieces, but they're very deep. Okay. Anyway, this week I'm picking a little bit longer one. I'm sorry, but it's such an interesting topic. You got to hear it. So he says, "Vayavo Yaakov Shalem Ir Shechem Asher Be'eretz Canaan, Vayoi Mipadan Arav Yichan Sham Penehayim." Yaakov came intact to the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, or what they say, Canaan, upon his coming from Padam Aram, and he encamped before the city. Now, the Midrash Rabbah makes the following observation. Rabbi Yochanan says in the name of Rabbi Yossi Bar Chalafta that we do not find any mention of Avram Avinu keeping Shabbos. As a result, Avram inherited the world with limitations. As it says, rise, walk in the land, its length and its breadth. So we're limited. Only get this part. But when it comes to Yaakov Avinu, on the other hand, we do find the concept of Shabbos observance, as it says, and he encamped before the city. He came to the city before sunset, and he set up boundaries, that is Tichum Shabbos, for himself while it was still daytime. His reward is an inheritance of the universe without bounds. As the Torah states, your children will be like the dust of the earth. Zera Shimshon raises what seems to be an obvious question. It appears that Yaakov Avinu kept Shabbos, but that Avram and Yitzchak, Yaakov Avinu kept Shabbos, but that Avram and Yitzchak didn't? Why would that be the case? Why wouldn't the first two always kept Shabbos as their grandson and their son did? Okay, the commentators explain that Avram and Yitzchak weren't sure whether they fell in the category of Jewish or Bnei Noach. There was always that suffix. It's still going on, even in the time of Yosef, when they had a machlekes with the brothers, right? They were faced with a dilemma. A non-Jew who Shabbos observes deserves to be put to death. It's a Gemara in Sanhedrin. Avram and Yitzchak, therefore, chose not to keep Shabbos, since there was a distinct possibility that they were Bnei Noach and were forbidden to keeping Shabbos. This raises another obvious question. The Gemara in Yuma states that Avram Avinu fulfilled the entire Torah, including the mitzvah of Eruv Tavshilin. Okay, what's that? If that's the case, then and he kept all the mitzvahs, including Eruv Tavshilin, which is a Shabbos-related mitzvah, then he must have kept all Shabbos as well, which would suggest that the Midrash contradicts the Gemara. Now, the Zera Shimshon offers an explanation. Although the words of the Gemara seem to imply that Avram Avinu kept Shabbos, it doesn't necessarily mean that he didn't do any malachas, forbidden work, but rather that he was careful to honor the Shabbos. Okay, a non-Jew may not be allowed to actually keep Shabbos with all its halachas. They may definitely honor the Shabbos, giving Avram and Yitzchak a way out of their impasse. So a malacha you can't do for a guy, but you could honor the Shabbos. What about the fact that Avram Avinu went so far as to make an Eruv Tavshilin? If that's the case, it seems that Avram was doing a lot more than just honoring the Shabbos. But the truth is that even the mitzvah of Erev Tavshilin is not about refraining from work, on the holy day, but rather about honoring Shabbos, as the Gemara states. By making the Erev Tavshilin, a person will remember not to finish all his food on Yom Tov and will set aside a worthy portion to enjoy Shabbos, thereby honoring Shabbos. That's the Gemara in Beitza 15b and Rashi. Using this approach, we can make peace with the seeming contradiction between the Gemara and the Midrash. Did Avram and Yitzchak actually keep the mitzvah of Shabbos? It appears not. Did they honor Shabbos? Very much so. If Avram and Yitzchak didn't keep Shabbos, why didn't Yaakov act the same way? Furthermore, the pasuk here seems to be implying that keeping Shabbos is a new development in Yaakov's life, and that he was just starting to keep it now. Okay, why? In order to answer all these questions, we must first explain the reason that Esau's angel was only able to beset Yaakov in their fight as morning approached. If the angel was more powerful than Yaakov, he should have been able to win the struggle hours before. Why did it take him all night? And if he didn't have the necessary powers, why was he able to get the upper hand as morning arrived? In addition, we should remember the Gemara statement that says that tzaddikim are greater than angels. That's the Gemara in Sanhedrin. Not only that, but the Midrash in Beishis Rabbah says, quotes the pasuk, that his angels are commanded to watch over you. It's a pasuk in Tehillim, right? 91. See? And it explains it by saying that one who is being protected by the angels is greater than the one doing the protection. Okay, if we ask why it is that tzaddikim are greater than angels, there's a simple explanation. As angels learn while tzaddikim are fulfill the actual mitzvahs. Angels love the Torah, yet they can do no more than study it on a theoretical level. For an angel, its relationship with the Torah starts and stops at the learning stage. Yet the fulfillment of the mitzvahs or actions are greater than just learning. That's more in Baba Kama. Which is why we find a number of examples of angels treating tzaddikim with reverence. It has to do with the fact that tzaddikim have the ability to take action, while angels are restricted in their avodah. Tosfos in Sanhedrin there cites that there was a minhag in Eretz Yisrael that they said kedusha only on Shabbos. Yaakov explains that people couldn't say the shira, the song of praise, to Hashem during the week because they are subject to death and possess a Yetzer Hara. Weekday shira to Hashem was therefore provided by the angels. While on Shabbos the Jewish people can also contribute the shira since it is a holy day and a taste of the world to come. They get a taste of Me'ain Olam Haba, right? That's the Iyun Yaakov there. We can now understand why the angel was at first unable to best Yaakov in their fight. Yaakov was constantly doing mitzvahs. He was a man of action, as opposed to Esau's angel, who could do no more than study. But when the morning began to dawn, the angel was finally able to turn the tables. Why? Because the time had come to sing Shira, and the angel had access to a merit that was not available to Yaakov. Wait a second. Didn't we just see that Yidden are able to sing Shira on Shabbos? Why wasn't Yaakov Avinu able to combat the angel's Shira with the merit of his own Shabbos Shira? Once we remember that Yaakov hadn't been keeping Shabbos until that time, which meant that he hadn't been able to sing Shira, everything makes sense. And we can understand what merit the angel had over Yaakov Avinu and why he was able to best him in a struggle. After the battle between Yaakov and the angel, Yaakov Avinu understood that the only reason the angel ever had a chance to overcome him was because of the Shira. And Yaakov understood that the source of his power over the angel during the night was due to all his maisim, to the good deeds and mitzvahs that he did for Hashem on a regular basis, and that they were giving Hashem exceptional enjoyment, much more than if he was just a ben Noach. At that moment, it became clear to him that Hashem considered him a Jew, and that he had left the category of ben Noach in every way. With this realization of Yaakov Avinu was able to keep was able to begin keeping Shabbos like a Jew and sing and able to sing Shira to Hashem as well, removing the only power Esav's angel ever had over him. Okay, that's from the Zerah Shimshon in our Parsha and Ois Yud Aleph. I read it in Hebrew, but this is, I had to be Mekatzer because it's really long in the Hebrew. All right, everybody have a wonderful Shabbos, and don't forget to light a candle for the Bat Ayin tonight and tomorrow. All right, maybe even get find a sefer in shul and look at a Bat Ayin piece of Torah. Okay, Kol Tov Zaygebench.